It's 11:47 p.m. Your laptop is closed. You are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Your body is home, but your mind is still in tomorrow's 9 a.m. review meeting. Sound familiar? I want you to try something right now. Think back to the last time you are truly, completely switched off. Not on a beach with your phone in the room, not on a Sunday with a laptop just in case. I mean fully, mentally off. If you had to think for more than 5 seconds, that's the problem. And it's not the problem you think it is. Everyone tells you stress at work is about workload. Too many emails, too many deadlines, too many meetings. I am going to tell you something different. After 32 years in corporate, from the shop floor to the boardroom, building a business from zero to over 600 crores, I have watched hundreds of sharp, capable managers burn out. And workload was almost never the real reason. Today, I am breaking down the real 5 reasons you are stressed at work. Reason number 4 is the one nobody talks about, and it's probably running your life right now without you even noticing. Let's get into it. I am not a wellness influencer who never sat through a Monday 8 a.m. sales review. I have closed high-value deals across India and international markets. I have led teams through impossible quarters. I have carried mental loads more nights than I can count. So this isn't theory. This is what I have lived and what I now help middle and senior managers and startup leaders fix using something what I call the PACT framework. But before the fix, you need to understand the disease. So let's talk about the 5 real reasons you are stressed at work. Here is an analogy I use with every leader I coach. Imagine you leave the office every evening. Physically, your hands are empty, but invisibly, you are strapping on a backpack. And into that backpack goes every unfinished decision, every unresolved conflict, and every we'll figure it out tomorrow. By Wednesday, that backpack isn't light anymore. It's got 3 unresolved client escalations in it. A budget conversation you postponed, a team member's performance issue you are avoiding. None of it show in your calendar, but all of it sits on your shoulders, at dinner, at your kid's school event, and in bed at midnight. This is what I call the mental load, and it is the single biggest driver of stress I have seen in 32 years of corporate life. Not the hours, the unfinished loops running in the background of your mind. Here is the trap. Most managers think the solution is to work harder to close the loops faster. But you can't outwork an invisible backpack. You can only learn to take it off deliberately at the end of each day. That's a skill. Almost nobody has taught it. Second reason, this one is sneakier. You know that feeling when your phone buzzes in your pocket and you check it and there was no notification at all. That's called phantom vibration syndrome. Researchers have actually studied it. Your nervous system is so primed for interruption that it starts inventing threats that do not exist. That's not a joke. That's your brain permanently on high alert. Think about it like a smoke detector in your kitchen. A smoke detector is supposed to go off when there is a fire. Imagine a smoke detector so sensitive, it starts beeping every time you make toast. Eventually, you don't trust it, but you also can't relax because it never stops going off. That's what constant notifications, urgent messages at 9 p.m. and always on culture does to a manager's nervous system. It's not designed to be alert 14 hours a day. When it is, it doesn't calm down just because the laptop is closed. It stays in fight or flight mode, quietly burning you out from the inside, even on your day off. The always-on manager isn't lazy or weak for feeling exhausted. The body is doing exactly what an overworked smoke detector does. It's just doing its job too much for too long without a reset. Now here is one I lived personally. Early in my career, I believed the way to grow was simple: say yes to everything. Every extra project, every "can you also handle this?" Every late call with a client in a different time zone. I thought that's what leadership looked like. What I did not realize is that I had fallen into what I call the approval trap. Every yes felt like proof of my value, and every no felt like a risk to my career. Here is the analogy. Imagine a bank account. Every time you take on a work aligned with your role and your energy, you are making a deposit. Every time you say yes purely out of fear of looking uncommitted, fear of missing out on visibility, and fear of disappointing someone. You are making a withdrawal even if it looks like a win on paper. The most stressed managers I coach are not overworked because their job demands it. They are overworked because somewhere along the way they had started running on overdraft, saying yes from fear, not from strategy. And the cruel irony, constantly saying yes doesn't even accelerate your career. It just accelerates your burnout. Real growth comes from strategic yeses, the ones I teach leaders to identify in the PACT framework. This is the one nobody talks about. And I promised you this earlier, so let's get into it. When I was building the business from 0 to 600 crores, my laptop was living on the dinner table. Not because I loved working at dinner, because there was no line. Work started when I woke up, and technically it never ended. Here is the analogy that changed everything for me. Think of your energy like a phone battery. A phone that's constantly plugged in, constantly charging while it's being used, never actually reaches a full clean charge. Not dead, but never full truly either. That's what happens when work and home have no boundary. You are never off, so you are never really recovering. And you are never fully on because part of your attention is always somewhere else. This is the hidden reason so many capable managers feel tired even after a light day or guilty even during a relaxing weekend. There is no clean line between charging and using. The blur itself is the stress, even more than the workload sitting on either side of it. Most people try to fix this with willpower. I will just now check my phone. That never works long term because willpower fades by evening, exactly when you need the boundary most. What works is a structural reset, a repeatable system, which is exactly what I built the PACT system to be. Last reason, it's the one that ties everything together. Most managers manage their time obsessively. Calendars blocked, to-do lists color-coded, but almost nobody manages their energy. Here is the analogy. Time management is like managing the fuel gauge on a car. Energy management is like managing the engine itself. You can have a full tank of time on a Saturday, a completely free day, and still feel like you are running on fumes because the engine itself hasn't been maintained in months. I have coached senior leaders who took 2-week holidays and came back just as exhausted as when they left because they never actually recovered. They just relocated their stress to a nicer background. Real recovery isn't about having free time. It's about having the right kind of reset, one that restores focus, decision-making clarity and presence, not just a change of scenery. So let's recap the 5 real reasons you are stressed at work. The invisible backpack, the unfinished mental loops you carry home, the never-ending notification, a nervous system stuck in high alert, the approval trap, saying yes from fear and not strategy, the blurred line, no real boundary between work and recovery, running on empty, managing time but never managing energy. Notice something? Not one is about not working hard enough or needing to do less. Every single one of them is about how you carry the load, not how much of it there is. That's exactly I don't tell the managers I coach to work less. I never have. In 32 years of leading teams and closing high-value deals across India and international markets, I never met a top performer who wanted to do less. What they wanted and what you probably want is to think clearer, lead with more confidence, and still have something left for the people waiting for you at home. That's exactly why I built the PACT system to solve a structured and practical system I have used to help middle and senior managers and startup leaders switch off from work and reclaim their evenings, weekends, and family time in 90 days without sacrificing performance, without sacrificing career growth. If any one of these 5 reasons hit close to home, drop a comment and tell me which one. I read every single one. And if you are a manager or leader who is tired of being always on, hit subscribe, because next week I am breaking down the first step in the PACT framework and exactly how to start switching off tonight. I will see you in the next one.